Hello, my name is Cameron Lanieve, and I'm going to talk about rockets. So, the history of rockets goes back way further than most of us would think. It actually originated in the 1st century AD, and that was by the Chinese. So, some history about the Chinese is when they discovered this rocket, they were trying to create explosives um, for a party that they were having. So, like explosives like fireworks and creating bangs for noise. And pretty much what they ended up doing is they stuffed a bunch of gunpowder inside of bamboo rods, and when they finished that, then they put the bamboo rods in a fire to test to make sure that it actually worked before the party. Um, During this, while the rockets were in the fire, some of them exploded like they were supposed to, and then some of them shot out. So the ones that shot out, the bamboo actually didn't explode. What happened is that the gunpowder was burning and it was creating like a gas chamber inside the bamboo, and when the bamboo couldn't hold the gas anymore, um, it released it and shot the rockets forward. So modern rockets is defined as a vehicle that uses thrust from a rocket engine. So these work by action reaction, just like the Chinese did, but the Chinese rocket isn't considered a modern day rocket according to the definition. Um, but after this, according to NASA, then rockets started becoming more of a science than what the Chinese used it for, which was like parties and other things. Um, so first, Isaac Newton started it all off with his 3 laws of motion. These 3 laws explained how rockets work in an empty space, empty like vacuum, like outer space, and on the ground. Then, William Congreve during the 18th-19th century used the ideas of rockets for more modern warfare, like missiles. So he created missiles that could be used by the hundreds to help his allies. What happened was they had the hundreds of them, but they were not very accurate. So that's why they had to have so many. So a person named William Hale came up with a tactic called spin stabilization, which basically would make the rocket spin while it was firing in order for it to stay on track. That is much like what we see today when we fire a bullet out of a gun. If you could take a slow-mo or look at it, the bullet's actually spinning when it gets shot out. So, also according to NASA, there are 3 modern fathers of rocketry. First is Tulowitzki. In 1903, Tulowitzki came up with the modern rocket equation, which gave us a bunch of information and a bunch of different things to solve for, like the amount of propellant needed, how fast the propellant will need to shoot out of the rocket engine, the weight of the rocket. So that's what the rocket equation helped us with. It's the second father of modern rocketry was Goddard, and he was an American. He was testing with liquid-fueled rockets and multi-stage rockets. And then the last was Oberth. Oberth, he made an equation that explained how rockets can work on the ground and in outer space, because you can't use like a jet engine in outer space because there's no wave to flow through it. So he made the equation of that, and he also did studies on multi-stage rockets as well. Now, some interesting facts that you might not know about rockets is that there are 2 types of propellants. The first is a liquid propellant, and the second is a solid fuel propellant. And the next interesting fact that you might not know is how much heat gets produced by a rocket in the moments after liftoff. So actually, in the moments after liftoff, the rocket actually produces enough heat and energy to like sustain 85,000 homes for a full day. The next interesting fact is actually the fastest rocket that we have has gone 47,000 miles per hour, and that is around Mach 62, which is insanely fast if you think about it. And the last interesting fact was the first launched satellite that actually got into orbit was Sputnik, and that was made by the Russians. So, in conclusion, most of the mainstream rockets nowadays are for exploration. But if you go way back, they've been used over hundreds of years, and they have evolved so much over that time. Thank you.